You've been treating rejection like proof that something is wrong with you, like the reason certain people grow distant, stop replying, or fail to love you the way you love them must somehow be your fault. So you replay every conversation in your mind. You overthink every word. You wonder what you should have said differently, how you could have acted better, what part of yourself you should have changed. But pause for a moment. Take a breath. It's okay if some people don't like you. That does not make you hard to love. That does not make you unwanted. That does not erase your value. Sometimes people walk away because they never appreciated the real you to begin with. They only liked the version of you that was convenient for them. And the second you stopped living according to their expectations, they slowly disappeared. That isn't failure, that's clarity. Some people become uncomfortable around you because your honesty confronts their masks. Your calmness exposes the storms inside them. Your progress reminds them they've stayed the same. You didn't become worse. You simply stopped making yourself smaller. And truthfully, not everybody is capable of understanding a heart like yours. Not everyone has the emotional depth for you. Not everyone has the wisdom to handle your spirit. Not everyone has the space within themselves to carry the kind of love you bring. And that's all right. You've spent years abandoning yourself just to keep others comfortable. You kept trying to be easier to accept, easier to manage, easier to approve of. You kept fighting for peace in places where nobody else cared enough to protect it. You kept forcing yourself into spaces that offered you the bare minimum while you were giving your whole heart away. And now, you're tired because you've been chasing validation that was never necessary in the first place. Here's what you need to remember. When loneliness starts speaking loudly, your life does not lose meaning because certain people failed to appreciate you. You only need a few real ones. People who genuinely see your heart, hear your soul, and value your presence without making you earn their love. God never promised you universal acceptance. Even Jesus, full of grace, truth, and compassion, was rejected. People doubted him, mocked him, misunderstood him, walked away from him, not because he was lacking, but because their hearts were unwilling to receive what he carried. So don't be shocked when the same thing happens to you. It's okay if they misunderstand you. It's okay if they overlook your worth. It's okay if they failed to choose you. Their rejection cannot rewrite your identity. Their silence cannot decrease your value. Their absence cannot cancel God's plan for your life. You were never created to spend your life auditioning for acceptance. You were never meant to prove yourself to every person you meet. You were never called to become everyone's favorite. You were called to become exactly who God designed you to be, boldly, honestly, and without apology. And the people who truly belong in your life, they won't require convincing. They won't need to be chased. They won't love you only when it's convenient. They'll stay. They'll understand. They'll choose you even on the difficult days. Until then, stop reshaping yourself for people who were never assigned to your journey. Don't wear rejection like an injury. See it for what it is, direction. Because not everyone is meant to walk beside you. Not everyone deserves access to your heart. So if they leave, let them. If they misunderstand you, release them. If they refuse to choose you, bless them and continue forward. Your identity was never supposed to be built on human approval anyway. Maybe this is the season where you finally stop begging people to validate you and start resting in the reality that God already accepts you completely. You don't need someone else's approval to become enough. You already are. And it's time to stop giving other people the authority to decide your worth. Jesus already warned you, you are not of this world. And because of that, there will always be people who cannot understand you, cannot stay with you, and cannot walk where God is leading you. John 15:19 says, if you belonged to the world would love you as its own, but you were called for something different. That's why certain people become distant the moment you begin stepping into your true purpose. A lot of rejection feels personal, but often it's spiritual. We live in a generation addicted to validation, likes, attention, replies, approval. So when somebody ignores you, abandons you, or treats you like you're invisible, your mind immediately whispers, maybe I'm not enough. But maybe that's not true at all. Maybe you've simply learned to depend more on people's opinions than on God's voice. That's why rejection hurts so deeply. Not because they left, but because their opinion carried too much weight inside your heart. And here's the uncomfortable truth many people avoid. Sometimes rejection is God closing a door you were emotionally unwilling to shut yourself. It's his way of protecting you from something that looked harmless, but would have slowly destroyed your peace. What feels painful right now may actually be divine protection. Maybe God is saying, you were never meant to remain there. Remember Joseph. The betrayal of his brothers felt cruel, but it became the path that led him toward his calling. Remember David. Even his own father failed to recognize the king inside him. Rejection didn't ruin their destiny, it uncovered it. Sometimes God allows rejection because the place you're trying to stay in is too small for where He's taking you. The reality is, we chase acceptance like survival. We change ourselves. We silence ourselves. We compromise pieces of who we are just to avoid being disliked. But every time you abandon yourself for approval, you move further away from the person God created you to become. And when those same people reject you later, you feel shattered because you placed your identity in human hands instead of God's. Truth will always make certain people uncomfortable. Light naturally exposes darkness, and people running from God often struggle to stay comfortable around someone genuinely pursuing Him. So when someone says no to you, whether it's a relationship, friendship, opportunity, or door you desperately wanted, stop seeing it only as rejection. See it as redirection. God is not telling you that you're unworthy. He's saying that place isn't for you. That connection isn't meant for you. That door does not belong to your future. And eventually, you'll understand why He protected you. Because if they had accepted you, maybe you would still be trapped, trying to earn love from people who never valued you properly. Maybe you'd still be shrinking yourself to fit into places God was trying to pull you out of. So listen carefully. It's okay if everyone doesn't understand you. You were never meant to belong everywhere. You were never called to impress every crowd. You were called to follow God. And sometimes following God means leaving behind people who only loved the version of you that stayed small.